Hello everyone, this is Theme Park Central, and I'm finally back with another week of Disney news video. This one, it's not really a week of Disney, it's more like 2 months of Disney because I haven't been doing this in a long time, but we have a huge news video here. Lots of big news happened in the past few months, and I'm gonna kind of tell you the news and explain it if it's, a big piece of news. So Tron opened almost 2 months ago. Now that it's May 29th, so it seems to be going pretty well. No bad news about Tron. I will be writing that very soon, and I will have a video in the coming weeks with a Magic Kingdom vlog and Tron. So I'll tell you my thoughts about it after that. But seems to be a fine addition to the parks, and yeah, so that's going smoothly. But what might be even better than Tron opening, it's the fireworks shows that they are bringing back, or they have brought back to Disney World. Happily Ever After, the best firework display in the history of Disney, it's returning. It has returned, and this is just really good. I think they changed a little bit of it, but not much at all. So that it's coming back. I mean, Enchantment was not a bad fireworks show, but it was not up to Disney's standard for those. And then Harmonious is being replaced temporarily by Epcot Forever, and then they're gonna do another show, I think, at the end of this year. So that's good as well. The taco barges are gone, so I think they're officially gone. So that is great. Epcot is going to be a much better looking park here soon, with the War Zone in the center being finished up, and the uh, the barges being gone. So Epcot's gonna start to be looking a lot better, but I still feel that they need more rides in Epcot. Um, and then the Mandalorian and Grogu have started doing meet and greets. Just surprisingly, one day at Walt Disney World, it seemed like they weren't gonna come there because it's the Star Cruiser, but they have now, and so yeah, this is great to see these meet and greets. I think you need that kind of stuff because for Galaxy's Edge, they promised all of the aliens and stuff that was going to be really cool. But this is at least a good start to maybe get on that track. And then Fort Wilderness, it's actually one of my favorite Disney hotels in Walt Disney World. I've stayed there a few times, and it's just a really cool kind of setup with the cabins everywhere. And you take buses and golf carts, whatever, to go throughout the property. But they are going to be replacing those cabins with DVC cabins, although they are still open to regular guests, but this means that they probably are going to be more expensive. Um, and they're going to be more modern. I don't hate this as much as some people do because at least they're not putting IP into it. Now, if they put IP into this, then we're going to have a talk to Disney. But those cabins, they could use a bit of a refresher. I'm just worried that this is going to really inflate those prices. We will see. I thought prices for those cabins was something, it was definitely on the cheaper end for Disney, probably like 350 or something is what I've seen for those. But who knows with prices nowadays if they're more expensive than that. But I was at least glad to have stayed at those for wilderness cabins before, and we'll see if this is a good change or a bad change when it finishes. So yes, all those cabins are being replaced with new DVC cabins. And annual pass holder sales have resumed as far as I know, so that is great to hear. Still not a great annual pass holder system that they have, but at least you can still get those. And then what has been in the news the most for the past few months, and internationally, nationally, it's been making big news, and that is the DeSantis versus Disney drama. Um, so obviously, a year ago or so, Disney stood up for the parental education rights law, or whatever it's called, and this kind of made them an enemy of the state of Florida. Now that was under Chapek instead of Iger, but Iger still kind of has that, you know, that view against the state of Florida. So now DeSantis is kind of like fighting them. He made this advisory board, I think maybe over last summer, and then they've just been in a debate ever since. Disney saying we want to put a prison on. DeSantis is saying they want to put a prison on Disney property and all that kind of stuff. But it's really just talk in the fight for now. Not too much has actually happened with this fight, but we do know that Disney had to receive monorail inspections. That's the only thing that's happened here. So far, it's not bad, but we'll see how this happens, what implications this will have on Disney and the government and all that kind of stuff. But so far, it's just two people fighting each other, and really not that much has actually happened. And then in Disneyland, Splash Mountain will be closing tomorrow, May 30th. So obviously, it is sad to see a classic to go. Splash Mountain, it will still be open in Tokyo Disneyland, as far as we know, so you can go there if you want to ride it. But yeah, it's sad to see it go, and you know, my biggest problem with this closure is that it's not going to be called Splash Mountain anymore. It was just really nice to have the three mountains. So, yeah, I don't know about this. It's not my favorite thing ever to be closing it, but hopefully Tiana's Bayou Adventure will be a good attraction. And um, so far in Disney World, they've actually cut off the big stump at the top of the attraction, and it's made Splash Mountain look a lot shorter, so that it's very interesting, and we'll see what else they do in that renovation. And then also at Disneyland, the Maleficent dragon from the Fantasmic show has caught on fire. I think they're going to resume the show, but usually this dragon is just supposed to breathe fire, but it caught on fire and burned. So that was quite an interesting piece of news. And then for the park reservations, um, no reservations for dated tickets or some annual pass holder scenarios will be required for 2024. So some people do not need reservations in the Disney parks. Now, all the news articles are searched up. They say no reservations required anymore for Disney beginning 2024. Yeah, no. Lots of lying going on with that. So just be careful. It's for day-to tickets, so if you have a date on your park ticket, you do not need a reservation. You just go that day, I guess. And then annual pass holders, they're supposed to be these good to go dates, I think they call them. And that's where you don't need a reservation. Now, I think this is just really confusing for annual pass holders because you know, they had the weird after two park hopping reservation stuff going on already, and now you add this to the equation. That some dates you don't need it, some dates you do. I think that just really makes it confusing. So I hope what they do with each date, all your regular dates, like a random day, um, just in like September or January, some time where not many people go to the parks. I think that's when you can have those dates. But it's kind of like blackout dates. That's what I think they should do. You're blocked out. You when you're like those busy periods, spring break, Christmas break, all those periods throughout the year where the parks get really busy. That's when they should require reservations. But and then all the other dates, I think, annual pass holders deserve to just be able to go whenever they want on those dates. So, of course, I would prefer no reservations at all, but actually, I do think reservations are kind of nice because you get to look forward to the park. So, Yeah, this is a step forward, although I don't think they're going to take them away entirely. It's kind of a confusing situation with the park reservations. And then the Walt Disney Imagineering move from Glendale, I think it is, to Lake Nona in Florida was canceled. So that means Disney is going to be able to keep more of its Imagineers, and this is great news. More Imagineers will stay, and hopefully we'll get some better attractions as a result of this. So that is great. And then this is the biggest piece of news in a while. The Galactic Starcruiser will be closing permanently in September. At the end of September the 30th, it is entirely booked out, so you can't go there now. It's booked out as of now, and this is some pretty crazy news, I'll tell you that, because the Starcruiser opened just about a year ago, I think March of last year. So it has barely been open at all. It'll be open for less than 2 years. And this is, yeah, I know obviously it was a failure. Not many people were going to it. They did some discounts for certain people, but they never actually splashed those super high prices. And that's going to be their greed. It's going to be their downfall here. And this is a $1 million flop for Disney. And we'll see what they do next with that empty building. Who knows? I hope personally it's just going to be an expansion for Hollywood Studios. Is probably my favorite idea at this point. It would be nicer if it would be a hotel, but at this point, I think they should just do an expansion. And so, yeah, they had a few problems going for them for the Galactic Starcruiser, and the number one problem was obviously the price. It was $5,000 to $6,000 for the trip, which is definitely more expensive than cruises. And I've been on a cruise, and I think a cruise would be better than this, even though I am a Star Wars fan. Which brings me to the second point, and this is not something from the movies. Just like Galaxy's Edge, that's why Galaxy's Edge was not very good, and this is why the Star Cruiser is not very good. They're not from the movies. And one thing that people say is, oh, it's because they're from the sequels, which are not a well liked part of Star Wars. But they even didn't like actually use stuff from the sequels. Like you could be on a First Order Star Destroyer, let's say, and that would be much better, I believe. Here you just found this made up space yacht or whatever with a lot of new characters, and they really need to bring something from the movies, like a Star Destroyer or something like that, and that can be the hotel, and I think that'll work much better for them. So this is kind of just Disney misinterpreting the Star Wars franchise and also the price. So a huge failure there. My ideas for what they should do next, like I said, an expansion, but I was also thinking, just having these thoughts, I was thinking that they need to sell those lightsabers, the ones that like retract, but it doesn't need to be like an actual burning blade. It can just be like a plastic thing that comes out because, yeah, the lightsabers were another problem with Galaxy's Edge. They're just too expensive and not good. And then I also think that it seems at this point like Universal it's doing Harry Potter a lot better than Disney it's doing Star Wars at the moment. So I think they should. Universal did the wands throughout their land. I think Disney should do the Force. You can get like this wristband or something, and it gives you the Force, and you get to move stuff around. And maybe that's what they do with a new hotel. But I do think they definitely are not using the Star Wars IP very well right now, and we'll see if they can rebound from that. And then in 2024, the Disney dining plan will be returning. This is great news. I think the dining plan was good for people who are staying, a good amount of time at the resort. And yeah, this should be some good news. And then this is always puzzled me a little bit, and this is the Disney Plus streaming purge. So I don't really get why they're doing this. They're wiping out a ton of shows, like what they've announced. It's like pretty much every original series that they made on Disney Plus is gone. So that is interesting. I didn't think all the series were that much of a failure, but I guess they are. Like they're even wiping out the Lightyear movie that came out. This is just not making too much sense to me. I don't get how that makes it more expensive for them. They've already posted all the shows on the streaming service. What taken away isn't gonna get them money back or anything like that. So I really do not get that. I think it would be better to have more shows. You should make more money with that. And also, they're trying to merge with Hulu. I do support that because I like the streaming services to be like, I don't need 12 different subscriptions. It would be better to have like 6, and they just merge a lot of these together. So, yeah, we'll see if Disney Plus can recover. Purge comes after, them not earning very much money there. So we will see what happens there. But one interesting thing from the purge is that they did not wipe out any of the Star Wars or Marvel content, and that's some people have objected that there's too much of that. So, yeah, that is going to do it for this week of this new video. Please make sure to subscribe and like. I'll be coming out with the rest of my wish vlogs in the coming weeks. So, yep, that will do it for this video. This is Theme Park Central. Bye.